Kind of like me.
Well, that's not the point I was going for.
Rob Drinks! With Rylan.
Reibread.
Welcome back, Rylan. Been a minute.
Reibread. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah.
I'd say Happy New Year, but I can't remember the last time I was here.
Well, it is Happy New Year because last year was the last year.
Yeah.
So.
Happy New Year. Any other Hanukkah? Happy birthday to me.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It was my birthday last
we took
week.
a birthday shot today.
He didn't buy me one, this cheap bastard.
Yeah.
You owe me gas money.
Fucker invites me to a Bucks game, practically
What is this,
begs me to
Hanukkah?
come.
Hanukkah.
After the fact, he's asking me for gas money.
No, this is Hanukkah.
He already had the tickets, by the way. So either way, Rob's ranks. We're going through sports movies today. All right.
Well, this is an RR, huh?
Yeah, Rob's rank RRR with Reibread.
Rob's ranks on Reibread.
Yes.
Yeah.
Top 5 sports movies of all time.
This one was tough for me. I don't like any sports movies. I found out.
The real like sports movies are kind of cheesy and lame.
What do
but
you
there's
want,
a
American?
lot. Yeah. What are you?
I thought
Nazi
this was
or
America.
You're a commie?
Well, sometimes I question that. No. Just in general, like it was difficult for me because we've done top 5 movies that we like.
Mm-hmm.
We've done
Characters,
top 5s, all
shit,
this, and none of them were sports movies. So for me to go back and appropriately rank them, it was a little difficult. I have my list.
Well, here's the beauty of the sports movies is there's a lot that you don't. That if it have any kind of sports undertones, right? It doesn't have to be Rocky or these 100% sports movies, right? It can be. Stop looking at my belly. But before we're going, I have one question for Rylan that I've asked you. This is a great question. When did you lose your boob movie virginity? I've been asking everyone this.
Ooh.
In our age, we didn't really have porn when we were younger. So what's the first set of boobs you saw in a movie?
Have I already answered this?
You answered it. You said Species, remember?
Yeah. Because
God,
that was
your
my answer
podcast
now.
memory.
That was my answer now.
I root for him every time. He's thinking. He probably remembers his first dong he saw, but...
That's
I
probably
feel
more...
like it was 1 or 2 movies, and I'm blanking which for sure.
Yeah.
And the second one, I can't even remember for sure if there's actually boobs in it. So
Give me what you got.
I masturbated to it
Yes.
quite a bit. Yeah.
Give me what you got.
it was Caddyshack.
There you go. Definitely a good one.
Ooh,
Saw boobs.
Oh, yeah. Multiple.
80s movies.
Yeah, any 80s movies.
And then it was Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh.
That was a later one, so it probably was Caddyshack.
There's
got to be
I think
boobs
I
in that.
remember boobs in Me, Myself, and Irene.
I know there's the
There's-
one great
there's a
scene
lot of,
where
like,
you
sex-
can't piss.
No, Me, Myself, and Irene, I feel like I saw in like middle school.
But I was just saying, there's a lot of like sex toys. Like I remember it
And
being
I had a stricter
inappropriate.
household,
That's
so I
late.
wasn't watching.
Oh, I did too. I just got away and found these things at like Best Buy.
Of course you did.
4 copies of Basic Instinct.
Kidding. Right. All right. Top 5 sports movies.
Wait, what were yours? I don't know.
He had Species.
Species.
Mine were the
Right.
Halloween 1 and 2.
I probably saw boobs before I should have seen boobs.
Yeah, we all did. I was like 7 or 8, so
Gotcha.
that's probably why my mind's so devious.
I kind of remember seeing Species at the drive-in movie theater. So like I was
Jesus.
eating Milk Duds. And
With who? You had a 16-year-old
Wow, I'm shocked I
girlfriend when
don't
you were
really
8?
remember.
No, I
But-
probably went with my parents. I don't think they realized there was like mass boobs in it.
Wow.
Wow.
That was that Russian chick. Wow. All right. Rob's ranks.
Here we are.
Sports movies. Do you guys have anyone had honorable mentions?
Yeah.
First honorable mention. What do you got?
Yeah.
I have 2. So what's your first honorable mention?
I actually have a few, if you don't mind.
Okay.
me going through
Give me
it
your
really
first
quick,
one.
super fast.
Okay. Yeah. Give me all your honorable mentions. Real
I can
fast.
go one.
Go ahead. Give me one. Give me one. I'll give you one.
All right. I actually, I've got an honorable mention sports movie, which is more of a documentary, and it's called Icarus.
Okay.
It's on Netflix, and
Too
it's
close to the
about
sun.
the Russian doping scheme.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
And how they end up getting a Russian athletic trainer, scientist guy to basically divulge all of their secrets, and that's how this all came out.
Okay.
Sochi Olympics, whenever that
What was it,
was,
like
I'm
the
blanking
80s? Like
year,
Cold War?
2014.
Sochi was 2000.
Oh, really?
Oh, this is recent.
Oh, is that why they were recently banned?
Yes.
Oh.
Icarus.
So they flew too close to the sun. They're
Very
doing too
good
many
movie.
supplements.
Very good.
All right.
movie.
I'll give my first honorable mention. Don't look at my list, you motherfucker. And by the way, I am doing a. You know how people do beer flight things.
Sure.
You know, I'm doing a 11 beer, 11 IPA beer flight just with full beers.
Yeah.
After going to 2 bars and I'm drinking. So
Yeah.
my birthday was just a couple days ago. So
this is a birthday celebration for you?
well,
Because this wasn't a challenge that anyone issued you. This is a personal
no.
challenge.
Well, Erica my fiance had COVID this past week, so I've been kind of having.
Thanks for letting us know. Yeah.
I've been separating from her and stopped looking at my list. I've been sleeping on the couch, and I didn't go out for my birthday because I didn't want to leave her home.
Sure.
So I haven't done much. So this is kind of my birthday celebration.
Good.
We're gonna do a couple pods after this. So by the last one, I'm gonna be like drooling and probably passed out.
So it's a good thing I bought you a birthday shot because
I
didn't realize this was your birthday
Right.
celebration.
Well, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Well, Cap's he's a nice guy. All right. Remember my first honorable mention. I have two. Major League, 1989.
That's
the baseball one. Wesley Snipes, Tom Berenger.
Who's the winning? Who's Charlie Sheen?
Charlie Sheen is a Wild Thing.
Yeah.
And I'm a big baseball fan, and that movie was it's funny. It's just great baseball movie. One of the best baseball movies. Has some great baseball scenes. It's funny. It's got the characters, the spring training aspect. Just really big fan of it. The sequels were not very good, but Major League for me. Do you have an honorable mention?
Well, I know, Rise. You said you had a few, don't you?
Yeah.
So I only have one. So knock out a couple of yours.
How many do you have?
I got maybe 5.
Oh, well, just give me your top 2.
Knock them out real quick. Knock them out. Just let M. If you have something to say about it,
fast. We don't have to talk about it.
Yeah, if you have something to say about it, go ahead.
I've got Miracle.
What's that one?
Goes without
That's
saying.
the hockey against
Russia.
Russia.
Yeah.
We're
Do you believe in
taking out
miracles?
Russia.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Come on. We've got Happy Gilmore.
That's a good one.
I actually wrote down Kevin Costner in general.
I like that.
Because we've got
like 5, right?
We've got Draft Day, Field of Dreams,
Oh,
For the Love of the Game, Tin Cup, Bull Durham.
So many. Okay, that's actually really funny.
What?
And then I've also got Brink. Because anyone growing up who, thrashing rails and blading and skateboarding.
Brink.
Watch Brink.
I know Brink's Home Security.
Brink? You haven't seen Brink?
No.
When you said Brink, I thought it was the Will Smith concussion movie, but apparently it's not.
Tell the truth.
I don't know the movie. I've never
All right,
seen the
maybe I'll
movie.
say this one then in substitute. Luck of the Irish.
Something to do with Notre Dame.
He's just.
I guess that's
Notre Dame.
Well, I guess maybe you guys are.
Well, all sports movies are trash. So
We're like a year older than you.
I know. But then how do you not? Would you guys just not have like?
No, you're just going real obscure with these. But
No,
I do
those
like
are honorable
those,
mentions.
Happy
If you've never
Gilmore,
seen
yeah.
Brink.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my honorable mention.
Yeah. I got one more, so you go first.
Now, it's a little difficult because the more I think about it, the more I want to put it in my top 5, but I'll leave it here. It's Uncut Gems, Adam Sandler.
Mm-hmm.
I have a soft
It's in
spot.
your top 5, or it's
My honorable mention. I wish, I think I should have put it in my top 5, but I've only seen it once. All these other movies I've seen multiple times.
Right.
Uncut
Two more
Gems,
movies.
I have a soft spot in my heart for gambling. I can empathize with them. And plus, it's cool to see Adam Sandler not in a slapstick movie
Man.
and doing something
Such a
serious.
great performance.
I think he did a good job. Kevin Kardashian, it's pretty awesome.
Kevin Garnett kills in that movie, by the way. Did I tell you the
future Hall of Famer?
100%.
Oh yeah.
Did I tell you the story about so Adam Sandler was on Bill Simmons' podcast, and he's always known as the kind of the dingus, like playing dumb roles like Happy Gilmore and Waterboy, and people don't take him serious.
Sure.
So Daniel Day-Lewis is like the most serious actor there is, right? Like well respected.
Yeah.
I don't really get it. I think he's good, but I think he's held to this fucking high esteem. And Adam Sandler said he saw Daniel Day-Lewis in the screening of it, and they're friends, I guess. And he got a call from him after it came out, and he was worried. He's like, this guy's going to tear me apart.
Yeah.
Because Adam Sandler's trying to go into
He's
Daniel
trying to
Day-Lewis'
transition.
world.
Yeah.
And he's like, Daniel Lewis is like, told me he was speechless and like was almost in tears. How good that he acted. And Sandler's like, that was the greatest. That was like Michael Jordan being like, you're a hell of a baller.
So
and when he heard that, he's like, all right, I am.
I like Daniel Day-Lewis. When I think of him, I think of like with Lincoln, the movie.
Yeah.
I think of
There Will Be Blood. Like
Last Mohicans.
Yeah, very serious character acting, and
yeah.
I like him. He's good. I'm just saying, like, he is considered the best actor.
He's like the
by
Meryl
most
Streep.
people. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
You
like Daniel Day?
Yeah. What do you think about him? Daniel Day.
You like DD? You get down with some DD?
Yeah, big old titties.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's a good guy. Yeah, I mean, he's a good guy. In general.
All right.
Stand-up character.
My last honorable mention, Mighty Ducks 2.
Number those.
Yeah, like Mighty Ducks was okay, but Mighty Ducks 2 for our generation, man, that movie was great. Was fun. I don't think any of us were hockey guys, right?
No, not me. I played street hockey. I didn't
Street
know
hockey, yeah, but we're not. Hockey players are a different breed. When they play hockey,
I couldn't. I tried to get into hockey when the Blackhawks were really good.
You felt like a poser, right?
I couldn't do it. Like it was
Right.
it was art.
Yeah.
Right, it was
Every
artificial.
girl was into it, and like it was
That's
a thing,
why, yeah.
you know?
Not a hockey guy, but Mighty Ducks is definitely on my actual top 5.
Mighty Ducks 2, right?
Because no, actually,
The
all
original
of
Numero
them.
uno.
Okay.
Because if you didn't get attached to the growth of the ducks themselves,
It's coming of
whether it
age story,
be-
right?
Yeah, I mean, you've got
Bash Brothers.
the mini
like-
ducks to
Yeah,
Duck
yeah, yeah.
USA to high school,
See, I never
college
got into
duck.
the
I
third,
can't
but-
remember what.
I'll save the rest
Wait,
of
this
my...
is all the first movie?
No, it's about the 3. 1,
Oh, I
2,
was going to say they
1, 2, 3.
transitioned. Like, how
Yeah.
do they make 2 more sequels if they
No.
went to college? Like,
Gordon
they went pro?
Bombay,
Yeah.
make a move, Conway. I mean,
I'll
come
save the
on.
rest of my Mighty Ducks
I've never seen
analysis for when you have it on your list.
Never seen
So-
a Mighty Ducks movie.
Wow.
Right.
Well, we're going to have to watch Mighty Ducks 2 tonight if we stay up long enough.
No.
You're number 5. What do you got?
My number 5 movie, I actually took it off my list because I saw it on Rob's list. This is number 1 because he's
Rob
a goofy
Campbell. Rob.
loser. I had basketball on there,
Oh, that's a good one, though.
but he had it on his list, so I've actually replaced it.
Well, not even an honorable mention, though? Either way, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're fucking ruining my list, dude.
It was on mine. It's
Spoiler
5.
alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
So
Fuck
that's why if
off.
I said it now and you were going to
All right, what's
I
your
would've
fucking
ruined it.
5?
What was your replace with that? I'm curious.
So I decided to replace it with A League of Their Own.
Okay.
Tom Hanks.
Because you know what?
Yeah.
I think
Actually, I like
I
that
think
movie,
you none of us here were gonna throw out a movie that reps the ladies and
Chick baseball, right?
Well, how many
Either way,
sports
it's a
movies are
great
about
movie.
ladies?
It is a great movie, and it has Tom Hanks in it, which we both agree is the greatest actor we've ever seen.
Yeah,
It's one
to
of his
me,
great-
yeah.
I know you're a big Castaway guy.
We're both
I
big
live-
Castaway guys. Yeah.
Last Halloween, he painted his belly like
Wilson.
volleyball.
Wilson.
Yeah, it was
I
awesome.
did.
Yeah.
I did. Guilty as charged.
I put red paint
Guilty
on my
as
face.
charged with the painting. Yeah. Okay, that's a solid one.
I like it. No, it's actually enjoy that movie. I didn't think about it, but yeah, that's a good one.
And I heard an interview with Tom Hanks recently.
For a guy who hates sports movies, maybe you.
I like Tom
soften
Hanks a
up.
lot. Yeah, I like Tom Hanks.
I heard
Road
a
to
Tom.
Perdition.
I like girls.
Shout
too.
out Geneva, Illinois.
Madonna's in that, by the way. I heard a Tom Hanks interview where he was talking about his favorite 3 movies that he filmed.
Mhm.
I can't remember the third one, but Castaway was one of them, and then League of Their Own was the other one because he got to like play baseball and be around baseball the whole time.
I would
And-
think Castaway be a one that you don't want to do.
No, he loved it because he was like on vacation with his family, and it was rough at times, but like it was still.
I know, well,
like
just
a-
being like
it took 2 years to fucking film that movie.
that's what I'm saying.
so-
Like being that roughed up.
Yeah. All right. My number 5, Happy Gilmore. You mentioned his honorable mentions. Again, kind of an off the beaten path, not a serious sports movie, but it does center around golf. Adam Sandler in his prime.
Yeah.
God damn, man. You can't go wrong with it. Just
Every
it
90s
spawns-
kid watched Adam Sandler, Happy Gilmore, and learned how to swear immediately.
Yeah. And also, you really can't, especially when you talk about these scrubby golfers you play with, you're not going to play a round of golf with a foursome with like your frat bros or whatever and not see someone try the Happy Gilmore swing.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work, by the way.
No,
It
it
doesn't.
I'll tell you what
It
resonated.
can work, but if you just plant your feet, you can still hit it 300 yards. You know what I mean?
What resonated with me the most, because I wasn't a golf guy, I wasn't really an Adam Sandler guy growing up, was
What?
I enjoyed him, but he wasn't he wasn't iconic to me. Like he's more iconic in retrospect.
I'm a British Farley guy. So.
But so what resonated with me was when he was the hockey player. He's just taking those hockey things.
Right.
I thought that was as a young person, I was like,
Yeah,
that's
great.
what's being taught. As long as you can take the fucking hits, man. Like just
Right.
take the bruises. And you're a tough guy. You're something. And for some reason, that's what resonated with me. With
The
that
beginning
movie.
5 minutes of that movie is just great when they go through just the hockey part and all the pictures and just like him doing dumb shit, him like riding
The whole movie, that's what resonated with
That's
me.
what I can remember the most is him.
Not me. The whole
like,
movie's great. But.
Yeah, another one. Woof, woof.
That needs to be deeper analyzed in its own whole
No, we don't
separate
need to. Yeah,
podcast.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of issues.
But it is great.
I saw
It is great.
buried, but it's
The
not-
kid's like waiting to go in there. He's watching. He's like, "What is this guy doing?"
Exactly,
Right?
yeah,
No
yeah,
helmet.
yeah.
Just come on.
Yeah.
He's like only 364 days at fucking
exactly.
like
Yeah, yeah.
only a whole year. He just did the tryout and failed. But all right, number 5 for you.
For me, I'm going with a comedy. It's Dodgeball.
Along the lines of a Happy Gilmore.
It's something I can quote quite a bit. I really had trouble doing these sports.
But this
movies.
is a sports movie because dodgeball is a sport, right?
But
You
after
play it-
hearing your first honorable mentions.
His were trash, so don't judge on his.
Well, no, I'm just saying in general, it was more inspirational for you guys.
Right? Yeah, you had
For me, this is more of a comedy. It's sports movies. I don't think
They're all kinds.
Yeah.
Just.
But Dodgeball is a sports movie. Let's just Dodgeball is a sport.
Okay, it's also my movie that I'm talking about.
Sorry. It's on the Ocho. It's on the Ocho, right?
Yeah.
Go on.
ESPN the Ocho.
Yeah.
It's just hilarious to me. Vince Vaughn in his prime. Quotable Ben Stiller right after Zoolander. I mean, it's.
Ben Stiller coming from the heavyweights, bringing his heavyweights character.
Well, to be so before that, yeah, I guess it was actually. It was, wasn't it? I didn't even think about that.
Lunch is canceled due to lack of hustle.
Yeah. No one makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. It just to me it was a typical early 2000s comedy, but it was about sports, so something I could relate to. Something it's. Because I think all three of us had that competition growing up. Like, how many times we played basketball, football, whatever.
Right.
Bombardment.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we were
even though
ruthless.
they took that away eventually, but great supporting cast too. Justin Long.
Yeah.
Quick thoughts on Christine Taylor. She's in a couple. She's married to Ben Stiller.
Mm-hmm.
That's Christine Taylor. She's Ben Stiller's
You
wife.
had to Google it, so we at least need to know who Christine.
I know who
Taylor
she
is.
Yeah, she's also in Zoolander. You know,
Did she play Marsha Brady?
She might have. Yeah.
No.
Thoughts on her? What do you think?
Revamp, I think.
What do you think? Kind
I
of
think
thing, girl.
she's a babe. Yeah, she's a babe.
She could have made our top 10 babes list. Actually, she's one of them like every girls, kind of like your Pam.
Sure,
she's like the Pam for some people, right?
Yeah, she's
like,
very
unassuming, not like necessarily
I think she's
sexy,
very
but
pretty.
pretty and could be sexy.
I think she's very pretty. She's very sexy.
All right.
I wouldn't say no.
Oh, Caps, I wouldn't say no to. Yeah. Whoa, hold on. This is not,
don't direct that towards me. Direct it towards the
I
camera.
wouldn't say no to you. We got all night, bro.
Easy.
Rylan, number 4.
Number 4, he got game.
Ooh. Oh, man.
Denzel Ray Allen.
I couldn't remember that well enough, but I had memories of it. I'm curious.
Ray Allen kills it.
It's
excited to see what you have to
it's
say.
a sports movie that's unlike most sports movies. The way it's filmed, I think the premise of the story where Denzel's trying to rekindle his relationship with the son because the jail.
Yeah.
What do you call head of jail people? Commissioners? Some I don't know.
The
wardens.
The wardens. Yeah.
Warden was trying to get him to convince his son to go to this specific college, and he didn't want him to know his intentions behind building a relationship with him. Son ends up going to the other school, but then ends up, I think, at the school that his dad wanted him to, but just in a different manner, so it didn't work out for his dad, and his dad stayed in jail. But just a wild movie.
I'll say that about that movie, it felt real. Like it felt like one of the more real movies. Like all these sports movies, we're talking about dodgeball and all that, whatever. Like that one felt like it hit home, like Denzel. Like, if it's not Tom Hanks, it's Denzel for me in terms of actors. So.
And Ray Allen, man, what a fucking baller! Like imagine if Ray Allen was playing this fucking NBA, dude. He'd be chucking 13 threes a game.
He's already one of all time.
Yeah, but he was only allowed to shoot like 7, right? Because that was a lot back then. Yeah. He would just be chucking, and he was 41%, or whatever it was. Most pure jump. We all agree, like one of the most pure jump shots we've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't want Ray Allen to ever shoot open shot against her.
Any shot, actually, especially the corner.
No, exactly.
All right,
that's a good one. I like that.
Mine, shit. I already got mine. Sandlot, number 4. Nostalgic. As a baseball guy growing up, as I know you were, we've played so many backyard baseball games. I know you're not even a baseball guy. You played plenty of backyard baseball.
I thrived in backyard. When it came to actual organized, I was trash.
Backyard baseball is something we all hold dear to our heart.
Oh, yeah.
Drinking from a hose to get water because, like, just everything about it, man. Just like, you don't need a full team. You could play with whatever it was, the pitcher's hand, or what was it?
They were too hardcore for me.
Really?
I'm a mini baseball player.
Same thing.
So what do you compare?
Oh no, they were too hardcore. I get it because they had a whole team. They were all just playing for Benny because Benny was going to make it, right? Saying like, well, the idea though is we'd play pitcher's hand, right, with like 3-on-3.
Yeah, there's no first pitcher.
They had the full thing.
If you're less than halfway, go back.
They almost never actually played real baseball. They were literally practicing.
One hand because the bat was so small.
Yeah.
I grew up playing baseball literally on a basketball court, like at the apartment complex.
But there's so many ways to make backyard baseball. You could do it inside almost if you have different rules.
Exactly. Yeah.
They were doing it almost like practice, and really in the movie, the only real time they played was against the rich pricks that had their uniforms, and they whooped their fucking ass.
They played ball like a girl.
Yeah. one of the best quotes ever. Like, like they're saying all this shit like, you're gay, you're fat, you blah, blah. You play ball like a girl.
I don't think any of those.
Well, you know what I mean.
It's weird.
I always go with that.
So what are you competitive in, Rylan? I'm curious.
What am I competitive?
Dick sucking.
Well,
what the?
He's the best at that.
so I mean, it seems like you play it cool. Like you don't care too much about basketball, about baseball.
He's a good basketball player.
No, I know he's a great basketball player. I've seen him. I played basketball.
What am I competitive in my
Is there,
actual life?
what would
What
you?
sports do I care
Where
about?
are you?
Well, no, like what would if I were to say, hey, I'll bet you $5 in. Like what would be like offensive to you if I said, hey, I'll bet you?
Yeah, Kappa saying, "I bet you." What's offensive? Baseball,
If
basketball.
I were to bet you in a
football.
sport or whatever it is, like what?
Well, because I think I'm really good.
Yeah,
at it.
not necessarily.
yes.
Well, not necessarily. That
Where
you
if
think
he
you're good at,
challenged you, you'd be like,
well, like something you care about, genuinely. Like what?
Yeah.
Like you say, I don't care too much about baseball. I don't care too much about this.
At first, I thought you were going to say watching, and watching UFC.
you
If I
get
was
into
picking-
that, yeah.
I love UFC.
Well, I wouldn't want to fight.
growing
But if
up,
I'm
what would be the
playing-
thing if he?
That's
he
what I'm
would've
saying.
challenged you growing
If it was me, like let's say I moved into your neighborhood, you had your group of friends, and I moved in with me and my brothers or something. Let's say
I would have wanted to say let's shoot it out because shoot or
let's play some
shoot,
basketball. Yeah.
but probably would have to say let's play some baseball. Maybe.
Sure.
He's
Yeah.
a solid baseball player.
Genuine question. I'm not.
I don't know what your
I'm
ass,
just,
but I mean, it's,
I'm just
up for
like
debate. Same with
what
basketball.
like where's your heart lay? You know what sport? Where's your basketball?
Too fun.
he's tall. Yeah, Ryan was a solid baller.
Fast.
I remember.
pace,
I remember it.
Super fun.
I remember.
He's a big boy. This guy, by the way, is 6'4". He's big.
All right. I'm just curious where
6'5".
like
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Even taller. Shit. Jesus, I don't need to shortchange you, man.
because
He's got 9-inch hands
Hey,
too. We mentioned it for the
we'll
Kenny
give my
Pickett
exact
thing.
height. We'll give your exact weight. We'll go from there.
No, 255. I'll tell you that right
that'd
now.
be a great. If
Just
you guys
so you know,
combine, it'd be a
that's
great
up.
offensive lineman.
Right? Yeah. All right, that was my number 4. Number 4 for you.
For
Gabs.
me, semi-pro.
Ooh.
This is simply
You're a
like
funny guy.
almost like a Will. Well, my first two are. This is a Will Ferrell thing for me. Will Ferrell with Jackie Moon. Love Me Sexy. Just everything about it. Like, I just found that movie funny. Like, I think Will Ferrell was his prime there, and this is not one of his better movies. I'll say that, but I think they did a good job of that. Like, what's his name? Woody Harrelson is in it, and I think they do a good job of balancing egos. Like, because I can remember the reason I asked you, Ron, is because growing up, like I was competitive in everything. Like,
Ping pong.
Exactly. Even if I know I'm not good,
Back off.
even if I know I'm not good, I always have like confidence. Like I would say, okay, let's play some ping pong, right? Like I'd feel confident with that, and I just felt like they did a good job of explaining that ego, where like I know I'm not the same backyard football player or basketball player that I was maybe a decade ago. Like there's no chance in hell I could do what I was doing before, but there's still that lingering ego, that lingering confidence, lingering desire to be good, to still play the game. And I think Woody Harrelson's character did a good job of that. Where there's someone like Will Ferrell, where it's just a joke, like a business to him. He's like,
Right.
let's see how many dancing suns we can get out there, right?
Yeah,
dancing moons,
sideshow.
whatever. And so I thought it did a good job of balancing that competitiveness with the comedy. So.
And captured a nice period in basketball where basketball wasn't what we know it as now. Almost like Winning Time, how like in 1979 basketball was a joke. Like it was like a failing
the
league.
Lakers were about to go bankrupt. Like,
The league was.
If it wasn't for
And
Jerry Buss,
the Lakers,
if it wasn't for
LA
Buss,
Lakers.
if it wasn't for Buss,
Right.
they'd already won 10 championships
Yeah.
at that point. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't. They weren't like
Cocaine
that.
almost ruined the league. Like a lot of things almost ruined the league. But now look where we're at now, where the NBA is thriving.
Yeah, Lakers worth $3 billion.
Cocaine almost ruined Rob Simmons.
Hey,
Yeah, thanks. Did it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I did. Yeah, he's taking shots, but if
I just wanted to say it.
what does
All
that even mean?
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. All right, number 3 for you.
Number 3 for me is it's a little double dipper.
Oh, DD.
We've got
Oh.
Rush, Vroom Vroom,
Rush.
Rush. Chris
Racing.
Hemsworth.
Yep.
Racing movie, epic,
Mhm.
epic. Go
He's going deep on it.
Google it.
Yeah, I've never.
I know what it
If
is.
you're not into
I know what it is. I
F1,
haven't seen
it's
it,
an
but-
F1. It's when they were
Yeah.
racing super. It is always dangerous.
What's the double
but
dip? What's the other double dip, though?
This is
Talladega Nights.
Hey, all right. Now you speak the language.
So the 2 racing movies you choose. Okay.
Not,
racing
what about
movies,
the
there's
Brad
a
Pitt
third
movie?
on-
What's the Brad Pitt movie where he's like the Ford versus Ferrari?
That's a good movie, but it's not up there.
No,
I have a question real quick.
There's
I think we all
before you get
Stop.
to talking in that big old thing.
Easy.
Golly.
That
jiggly thing.
It's fucking firm. I don't give a
You
shit.
said one time on this podcast that I touched it a lot.
Oh,
so
you
I want to
touched
touch
me.
it
You touched everything
10 times
Yeah.
this time.
Go ahead, dude.
So that there's
I'm
extra
cool with it.
slow-mo
I'm comfortable
jiggle.
with myself.
The third one, which isn't as good as Rush, but it should be on the list, Driven. Sylvester Stallone. Hot Shot
This fucker's
Racer.
bringing like 14
Yeah,
movies to it.
There's a scene where he freaking
Alright.
slides around the track and catches 3/4 with
Alright.
the.
Real quick.
You have to
Yeah.
leave your list so we can
Yeah.
put this in the.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah,
real quick,
description.
we're gonna go with Talladega Nights for yours, just because it's more mainstream. But I want to say one thing.
Rush is
One thing
my
we
true movie.
okay. One thing we forgot that actually could have qualified. Would this qualify? Is Fast and the Furious?
No.
What do you mean?
Street racing is not a sport.
Okay.
It's illegal,
I'm
Rob.
just asking. Like, what would that have counted? Because like,
No, it's illegal.
Okay. All right. So you're doing Driven or whatever, and Talladega
I
Nights.
did Rush and Talladega Nights.
Okay,
So Rush is your primary one.
Yes.
What about?
Yeah. What about it? Like we don't know. I've seen it. I
Can
know
you-
about it. But
I've never even heard of it.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
So he is competing with a racer. I can't remember if they're on the exact same team. I should have pulled up refreshers, but
It's
it's Rob's
all right.
podcast.
No, it's
I'm
all
not
right.
here to prepare for
Our
it.
It's all right. It's all right.
Rob's.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm squared. Stop.
Uh,
No.
And
Tell me about this one.
So they are either on the same team or they're fierce competitors. One guy's a party guy, a little bit younger, good-looking dude. Crowds loves him. The better racer ends up wiping out, scarring up his face, and the younger, better-looking, not as good racer ends up winning a bunch of races. They end up battling at the end.
Oh,
I won't spoil the ending.
sure.
But anyone tuning
It was
in,
friends,
it's,
they
it's
got
like
pitted against
1980s,
each other.
70s. But
It's like Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, shake and bake. We can't both be first.
You're right. Yeah.
times two.
You think I could get first one of these times?
Well, we can't both be. You're right about that.
Yeah, right. Steals his wife.
Go ahead, Billy.
All right, number 3,
Poor
basketball. Fuck you, basketball. You had an honorable mention, kind of ruined my thunder because you.
You had it number
teased
one,
the
though.
back-
How's it number 3 now?
I'm switching it up.
Wow.
Because you'll see why. Anyways, basketball, which is kind of an obscure one because it's not necessarily in the spirit of the list because it's a sport they
know.
made up. But
Well, that's. I mean, what is?
maybe that is the spirit of the list.
Yeah.
I love South Park. I love Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Is that Donovan Mitchell?
Jesus Christ, he died.
He might have.
Jazz are going
That
off.
sucks. But how awesome? How awesome
I'm
is
sorry, I
basketball?
didn't mean to-
Yeah, the fuck. How awesome is basketball? Just everything about it. When they first playing it at the party, when they go to the door and it's like, this is Brittany Kaiser's house, and I really, really want to fuck her, Dr. Kaiser, right? And then they go out there, they're like, yeah, well, like we're never gonna fit in. Like, what are we good at? We're good at shooting hoops. And the two guys and the doctors come out and they're like, we'll play some 2-on-2. He's like,
Yeah.
He's like, well, we're not playing that 2-on-2. You pussy asses play in the suburbs. He's like, it's a new game. It's called basketball. He's like, it pretty much explained horse.
So this is what I remember. Yeah, I
it's
remember.
pretty much horse.
I remember the initial where they beat the frat guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's not like horse. Homer's behind the meatballs, and then but it is horse. But like, cause those guys said it was horse, they just made these little different rules.
Yeah, just
free throw,
house
the
rules.
key.
Almost,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But awesome game, hilarious movie, great premise, a game that
Who's
I
the little
personally
dude that they
played.
just went on to tell?
Little bitch Squeak Scolari.
Squeaks.
Love him, dude.
That's right.
The scene where it all comes down to him. He's like, it all comes down to me. He's like, no, it's not. You're part of the team. He's got the TV going, the portable TV. It's like, and it all comes down to Squeak Scolari and everything he says.
Yeah.
The announcer's like,
Yeah.
well, it couldn't be a big. He's like, it's not a big moment. It couldn't be a bigger moment. And he
That's
throws the TV.
90s,
like, dude, just
Great movie.
genius South Park
Good shit.
moments. Like, goddamn, love basketball.
See, I don't remember it after when they initially hustled the frat guys.
Yeah,
I
well,
think-
they eventually. The best part is they
I
play
know there's
the.
like a cancer kid.
Yeah, well, they play the they play the team from San Fran, and he put on the guy's pants. He's like, vagina, shows the asshole. It's the San Fran Fairies.
Yeah.
Something that I
Okay.
couldn't play these days, but
No.
just genius movie.
Good shit.
Really off the wall.
What's
and-
yours? Next one.
Number
New
three, what do you
World
got?
3. So this one actually it's really close to always Remember the Titans.
Erica's favorite movie.
Is it really?
Yeah, she loves it.
Young Hayden Panettiere.
Loves it.
She's like 8 years old. I'm just
Half
I'm just joking. I'm joking. This is a joke.
Go on.
Denzel's in it.
Loves Denzel.
Well, he's the best actor. Tom
Besides that,
Hanks. They're Think gay. Yeah, no,
Well, like best white, best black.
I'm not gonna go there.
I'm kidding.
So Remember the Titans to me, it was because I remember like it was fresh for me because going through like summer camp, like going through the 2 days in summer, and I remember like just throwing up and just seeing like what those guys went through, and just really aspiring to be what like fulfilling those stories, those storylines, I suppose, because I don't know, like there's new guys that join the team, and it's just. Something about Remember the Titans, it resonated with me so much, I suppose.
There's good music in that movie. It's
sure.
very
It just felt real to me. It felt I felt like I could be in that position. It didn't feel like there was much of a difference between the 1970s or 80s, whenever they were doing the movie, from when I was playing middle school football. Granted, it was high school football, but there wasn't much difference between that in the early 2000s versus the late 90s, early 80s, whatever, 70s, whenever that movie was. There not much had changed in that point, so I could relate to that a lot. It's almost inspirational because so many
Nothing
times
changed.
it didn't feel like it. Not the 2 days, the coaches were dicks. Like that's how they're conditioned to be.
Football
man.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like racism wise. I was like,
No.
maybe specify.
I hope it's changed.
I was like, what is he talking
I grew up
about?
in St. Charles. We had like one black guy, and he was just the best athlete
Yeah.
all the time. So we just
I think it's what Caps is aspiring. Yeah. I'm kidding.
Not the
I'm
racism
kidding. I'm
part,
kidding.
no.
Yes.
no. What it was just it felt like
We all voted for Obama here, folks. So did we?
what it felt like was. All right, don't.
He's talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I could understand. Like it, when I heard Denzel talking, I could hear my coaches talking. When I hear my teammates complaining, I heard when I heard those guys complaining, I heard my teammates complaining. Like that type of thing. I could put myself in that position. Like as a young person, my imagination was wild enough where that could be me. Like I could be in that movie. I could have the right coach and the right circumstance, and we could do this. We could win the state championship or whatever, right? Like, so it just resonated with me a lot in that moment.
All right. Number 2 for Reibread over here.
Number 2 for the bread. Number 2 for me is the Mighty Ducks.
It's the whole trilogy, or is there a single movie?
Yeah, I think you respect the whole trilogy when you
Yeah.
speak of the Mighty Ducks.
What's your favorite, though, if you had to choose one?
If there was a favorite and I had to choose one, I couldn't. So
Really?
I'm going to have to just go with number 1 because without 1, you don't have 2 and 3.
Sure.
I really can't pick because I truly think the whole premise of the story is similar. You know, they're trying to win.
Yeah, last place, the first place, baby.
But
Limousine.
I think the different stories, they really plot pretty well. And
They're
if you
coming
like
of age,
hockey,
right?
It's a combo. As a kid, I freaking had cardboard boxes along my basement wall set up as a freaking ice rink. I had rollerblades.
That's awesome, yeah.
I was battling.
Influenced you that much?
Is it in number 2? Is it the Bash Bros? They call it? What do they call the two?
The Bash Bros.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of the movies. Like when they got the bandanas on and like they're just.
I'm glad to hear Goldberg's recovering.
Yeah, he had a
Shout
rough
out
run
Goldberg.
after, man.
He's been.
You're not talking
was
about
on the
Goldberg,
rock
the-
since.
Dude,
wrestler.
shut up.
What?
No, he was big. No, but he had like some serious issues. Like
Were you talking about Goldberg the wrestler?
goalie. No, the goalie.
Oh,
Goldberg.
okay.
Like, he had some serious.
No, you're talking about
issues,
Goldberg,
like-
the WCW wrestler.
No, yeah, the guy he was big when he was a kid though.
I wasn't talking about his weight. I was talking about.
Oh no, I was talking about his actual personal life. It had some
Yeah,
issues.
yeah,
So
you
I was
did.
gonna say if you're comparing me with that, I am doing an 11 IPA challenge. But like, come on, like that'd be a good thing for him, right? It's like a step
you
down.
rascal.
So all right, my number 2, Caddyshack. Iconic, hilarious. I love golf.
The movie I first saw boobs in.
There you go.
Boobs.
There's boobs. There's the turd in the pool. You got Bill Murray. You got Chevy Chase.
You got Gophers.
You got Gophers, dude, which is in my mind the worst part
You
of the
got
movie.
golf.
Yeah.
You got the guy who dances around his bag.
I mean,
Rodney.
It's
No.
close to my heart because
Is
like
his name Rodney? What's his name?
Dangerfield?
Yes.
yeah, Rodney Dangerfield's amazing in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, goddamn, dancing,
I'll tell you.
that giant
I'll tell you.
bag, like the fucking stereo in his bag. He has that little kid trying to caddy for him. He can't even get the bag.
What he did that was taboo is now normal. Jamming out on the course.
Right? Yeah, right. Yeah. Because you can never use like
Jam?
now everyone has speakers, right? Like Bluetooth speakers.
Okay.
Even at the country club, everyone has them. And before, trust me, no music loud, bro.
Yeah.
It's a fucking
That's how
gentleman's
swing.
game. Now
You need
everyone
something.
has
older
it.
generations
So
get
like,
phased out. of
you're a
golf now, right? Is that why
douchebag
it
if
is?
you complain about people playing music on the course.
Oh, really?
Because
I
everyone
would-
does it.
If I became a golfer now, I'd be fucking like, you're involved in the game
Right.
every day. For me, I'm not involved in the game. So if I were like gambling and
Right.
in my backstroke or
Right.
whatever,
Well,
like I would be pissed.
here's the thing. For me, is that music is constant. So for me, it's like anything else. If it's constant volume, constant noise, no big deal because it doesn't change. The worst is if a train were to come and the first train, the first horn. But like if you were to put music on during my backswing, I'm mad. If music's going on, whatever. And like music's going on everywhere.
Okay, so
But that's funny though. That is like think of the times that changed.
Travis
Like,
Matthews, popular golf brand, has made popular that Caddyshack Bushwood Country Club golf gear, hat specifically.
So what I was gonna say is, if I were playing pool, like I wouldn't want music, but usually you're playing pool in a bar, and I'm like, well, you're
Yes,
drinking,
yes,
so
yes,
that
yes.
makes sense. But when you're golfing, most likely
It's
you're
totally
drinking.
changed, man. Like now, music is part of golf, which it should have always
Well,
been.
just
And,
be-
like,
yeah.
golf is just known to have a lot of sticklers and people that are pissed about everything. And like that's the point of the movie, right? Is that this guy in 1979 had a fucking speaker in his bag, and like
Yeah.
Judge Smales is
That
so
was
pissed.
egregious. I think.
Egregious, dude. And there's so many great scenes. The pool scene with the turd.
We went there.
And like for me, like it's really close to me because I've been working at a country club for 17 years.
Yeah.
I am now the caddy master. I deal with caddies.
Oh,
like,
it hits home.
it's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just everything about it. Like, and now it's not like it used to be. Caddies used to just like in the movie, they're just smoking grass. They're just getting fucked up. They're doing whatever they want. It's a little bit different now.
So it's more of a position now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Really? So it's more. You get more money
Oh,
for
yeah,
caddy versus back then.
Oh yeah. Back then it was like
Back then it was just-
Inflation.
not even just that.
It's a
Like
great
it's
thing.
people take it
Well,
more serious.
if that's the only industry that's following inflation, then yeah, that's
Right.
great, right?
All right, number 2 for you.
I did have a question for you. I'll come back to it. For number 2,
8
actually-
inches. It's 8 inches, by the way. Is that your question?
You can't double it. Like, we're not. You put a mirror.
All right. We have fun here, folks. That's what we do.
So my number
Oh,
2
yeah.
is 2 for the money. It's a. I don't think either of you knew it when I brought this one up earlier because we're.
Some deep cuts.
So 2 for the money. It's Al Pacino, not Bradley Cooper. Who's Matthew McConaughey.
I
So-
think that's why I didn't know. It's because when you were telling us it was a Bradley Cooper Al Pacino
No.
movie, I was like,
So
I haven't heard of that one.
That's that. I was
Go on.
thinking of the where he takes the pill, the Limitless,
Oh shit!
Not a sport.
That's not even sport.
and that's Robert De Niro. That's not even Al Pacino. But either
They're
way,
very
so-
easily confused.
so either way, it's Al Pacino who is back in the day.
Robert De Niro's in one of those.
Robert De Niro was
Yeah.
the politician.
Yeah.
He's the politician that tries to squash.
Gotcha.
Go on.
So with 2 for the money, Al Pacino is he runs a gambling enterprise, I suppose, where he's like in New York, and this is back in the early 2000s when you used to have like infomercials, like, "Hey, call us now, you get a guaranteed winner," blah blah blah. So it was all about like those guys, and Matthew McConaughey was a former college football player that just knew football really well and could just pick them left and right. So he like a Mickey Mouse newspaper. They got recruits of the big leagues in New York, and he was making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And he hits a cold streak, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, it's about sports and the fact that it's about sports gambling and Matthew McConaughey, chasing his glory days. He was a college football player that was supposed to get drafted, bust up his knee, never got drafted. So now he's trying to make money off gambling on it. And he just kind of chases the dream a little bit too much, a little too aggressively, and loses his way a little bit. So
Renee Russo's also in that. She's in Major League. She's the female.
that's a name for sure.
Jeremy Piven as well, apparently.
I think he's one of the
Oh, wow.
sidekick. He's one of the sidekick gamblers. He gets jealous.
Ari Gold?
You know what's crazy is I'm looking right now. It got 22% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, what are they doing?
It's
Well, not that's your point. I'm just saying,
no. It
22%.
wasn't a commercial success. It was not a commercial success.
Rotten
6
Tomatoes is of the people.
Yeah, 6.2%, 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb. So I mean,
Okay,
yeah, but
it's my
22
fucking
Yeah,
movie.
I know.
guys.
I'm not trying to say. I'm just like, wow, like what the fuck are they doing?
Wow,
Like,
wow.
We'll
like,
check it
that's
out.
why you can't trust
we'll
any of
boost
this
that
shit.
up.
No, so the biggest boost was this is back in like my peak gambling. So just
Right.
to see a movie about gambling, like to me, it was like, let me get the information about the big wigs, right?
You just saw Rounders.
Oh, I've seen Rounders a million
shit.
times. It's a good one.
Rounders is great. Fuck! Can we all put Rounders on our
honorable mention?
Can we all put Rounders on our honorable mention because
Nice
you know
job. That's good.
Rounders is great. Great. Matt Damon.
Yeah.
A little bit of Edward Norton action in there.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
Worm.
yeah.
Worm just worming his way and ripping everyone off.
Matt Damon's a great actor too.
Yeah, Rounders is great. And because again, here's the crazy thing is that technically poker is considered a sport.
It is.
But I don't necessarily consider it a sport. Do you guys consider poker a sport?
Phil Ivey does. He wore a rocket
I know. But like, you get what I'm saying? Like, is
I think you can sweat just as much playing poker if you're gambling $25,000 a hand as you would be playing pickup basketball for no money.
I'm more of a defender of more things being a sport than less. Like, a lot of people tell me golf's not a sport. I tell them to fucking suck a dick because
I think
golf's
golf's
like
a sport. I think bowling's a sport.
Right? Would you agree? Hardest skill. Golf is the hardest thing to do. Pro, yeah, but in that at least
I'd say
requires
hockey.
some athletic.
I'd say hockey is the hardest thing to do.
Golf's harder. 100%
No,
golf.
I would.
100% harder.
Golf's harder.
Yeah.
If it was 1-on-1, me versus you.
Golf's harder. Golf has way more aspects than hockey. I'm just telling you.
No.
I had this argument all the time. Golf is by far the hardest sport, dude. There's like 30 different aspects to it, man. It's like baseball, but you need to be a little more athletic, and you can't just be a pitcher or a first baseman.
Let's
Golf's
not go there.
insanely,
Let's not go there.
All right, number one. What you got, Rylan? Number ones. 3-way pound. 3-way pound. Number ones, yeah. What do you got? Oh. Is it Rocky?
Is it fucking Rocky?
Well, maybe you just see the music on. Okay, it's Rocky.
It's Rocky.
All right.
Do I even need to go any further? Obviously, it's iconic. Obviously, it hits home. Obviously, you probably played a sport to it. You probably worked out to it. You probably made love to your lady to
definitely
it.
Had a coach, definitely had a coach that quoted it, right?
Or your
like,
guy.
You definitely had someone.
Don't.
To your significant other.
There you go.
Hey,
we gotta be politically correct here, right?
And I mean, it doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you know what? I'm gonna tail it all the way off into Karate Kid and Cobra Kai. Shout out Cobra Kai! Yeah, red flag. Oh,
oh no!
Cobra Kai suit. Look at you.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah, I can't repair it.
Oh.
It's like me wearing my Big Lebowski shit.
So, all right. Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, sports guy.
Dude, I love.
Everybody loves
like
fucking Rocky.
how broke he was. Like that was his.
Adrian!
You should have found a way to get your eyes closer together and be more Italian, so then you could be Sylvester
Oh,
Stallone.
Adrian!
Small eyes.
Yo,
like,
you're good.
Oh.
Can you get them closer together, like Rocky?
I mean, we got Ice-T. Not Ice-T.
What's your favorite Rocky, though?
Who's the other
What's your favorite
guy?
Rocky?
Mr. T.
What's
One of those T's.
Which
Those
is,
black tees.
Yeah. Which is the Russian one? Is
I
that
always
3?
will say
Is that 3?
it's number one because it starts the whole thing, and you can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch fucking 3 because you don't know everything.
Yeah. What's the one with the Russian though? Is it 4 or 3? 4. Okay.
And I'll say this.
That was like the last. Then it went a little downhill. Would you agree? Like after
Do you
Rocky
like
4?
Creed? Do you like Creed?
No, I think honestly, I think they did a decent job of kind of keeping it alive because if you, it helps that I'm into fighting, but if you're in just the spirit of fighting, I think the competitive stuff, all that stuff, it builds a good story. You get bought into kind of the knock me down, Rudy Rudiger, shout out Rudy. I don't know how the fuck you weren't on my list. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, anyone who
so they could be standalone movies, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They couldn't be standalone movies.
No,
I
they
think
could
you
not
need
be.
to
So you
watch
need number one. That's why number
Right.
one's so important.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you see his whole story of how he got into it, what built up his style of fighting. If you just see 4 and you see him glitz and glam, you don't know what built Rocky.
So funny enough, not to cut you off here. Hopefully I'm not.
I'm done.
But
It's my job.
yeah. So I just recently watched the third movie of the Star Wars trilogy. Because I'm like, all right, let me go watch the very end of the second part of the Star Wars trilogy, which I guess is the beginning or whatever.
Right, 1 through 3.
Exactly. But I'm like, let me go see if this is a good standalone movie.
3 is great.
I did not like it.
Really?
Like, I knew what was going on, but like it's totally fan service. And so I think if I had started from the beginning, like I appreciate like the beginning of the story, but like seeing the third part of the story, I don't know. I appreciate what Ryan's saying in that aspect. Is like you need the initial version of what the person that created the story. What is his initial thoughts? Like, what is it supposed to be, right? Or him or her or whatever. And so with Star Wars, I'm like, man, just I think it was yesterday.
3 is my number one.
Yesterday,
favorite.
I was like, I watched
like
it.
that.
The one with Rey and.
No, those are the late ones.
No,
those
that's what I'm
suck.
saying. So the second half.
Oh
the
yeah,
second,
I'm talking about 1 through 3.
The most recent Star Wars.
Yeah, those suck.
Yeah. So my point is, I watched that. I'm like, if I enjoy this, then I'll enjoy.
Well, the recent Star Wars are good.
I enjoyed them watching them in order, like in chronological order. I didn't dislike them in that, but I went back on Disney Plus and I watched the third one. I'm like, if I enjoy this, because I was
9?
so bored. Yeah.
Yes.
I was so bored with the clone.
Yeah.
When
you said third, I thought you were talking about Episode 3.
No.
Anakin turns.
I have
That's my favorite Star Wars personally. But.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get too much into. My point was that I recently watched that. To Ryland's point was I needed to watch the first one again to like really feel the weight of what was happening in that third movie. Because if you just watch it as a standalone, I understand. I know what's going on. Like I know the story, but I'm not emotionally involved. Right.
What's funny is with this list, like I originally when Erica, my fiance actually proposed this topic to us, top 5 sports movies, and I was like, at first I thought it was hard. I was like, damn, I don't know. And then I started looking, I was like, oh my God, there's so many. And I asked you, and you're like, I don't even know if I like 5 sports movies. And this motherfucker brings like 13 movies.
Yeah.
And now as we're talking,
Bro, I have a list
like,
of 100.
saying now we're talking, like there are so many, but like it's as long as we get away from the total sports movies, which remember the Titans is one, right?
Yeah.
Like where we get like a little bit off, where we have the Happy Gilmores and some of the offshoot ones that, aren't quite the gambling movies or some
I'll
of the...
say this. I almost put Forrest Gump in simply because he was a football
Ping
player.
pong, too.
Oh, yeah. He's a...
Come on now. The running?
Well,
3 things?
He's a...
Fishing?
World-class triathlete.
The fishing?
He's All-American. And he's... Yeah, you're right.
The sex of sport? Because he banged Jenny once.
That's
all
all,
right,
that's all
my
it
number
took.
one.
That's all it took.
My number 1, Moneyball. Now, I promise you this has nothing to do with our producer, Brad Pitt, who... He did kind of hold a knife to our throat.
Calm down, Brad.
Right? And I know you love Moneyball as well. And baseball's turned me off a little bit recently, I'm not going to lie. But baseball changed in a good way. They realized how to do it. Analytics, the glimpse into the other part of baseball, which is very important. Just the front office, how it's done, right? And especially we love sports, right? How small market teams can operate. And this was the definition of how to win against, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Lakers, the Celtics, down the line in football, the Packers, the Steelers, like these teams that, I guess Packers and Steelers aren't great examples, but being the small market team, right? Being the Kansas City Royals, being the Oakland Athletics.
Twins.
Being the Oklahoma City Thunder, being the Twins, like how you can go about it. And besides that, it's the acting. And Jonah Hill just defined his career by this because he was always known as the fat kid, the fat funny guy.
Won an award for that, right?
He was amazing. Brad Pitt in this movie, man, is, besides being extremely handsome, unbelievable. Well, come on. Don't even... He's not... He's handsome.
He doesn't understand.
I'm not just saying that because he's sitting right over there in the corner right now.
Can I piggyback off of that?
Yeah, piggyback.
So that's also my number 1.
Rob squared.
And I was not a big baseball guy growing up. That was not my... It didn't come natural to me. But what I liked about it was the interactions behind this, like in the locker room, where you see like the veteran guys or the alpha males of the
David
locker
Justice.
room. Exactly. Like I knew who David Justice was,
right.
but like I saw him, I knew who he was before that. Yankees guy, I knew who he was.
Yeah. Braves. He was a big fixture in
baseball.
baseball.
He was a big name. Just watching the locker room dynamic, and then watching someone that I would imagine if you're someone like David Justice, who was one of the bigger stars in the MLB at the time, and then he's on the decline. The way that Brad Pitt's character, what's the name?
Billy Bean.
Bean,
yeah, when he interacts with
him. But like just watching that's a leader. Like watching him talk to him and say, "Hey kid, like I know I'm only 2 years older than you.
Right.
But
right.
like, and I know I was a worse baseball player than you. But you need to listen to me.
When he's in the batting cage,
exactly,
he's like that's for them. That's not for me. He's like, you pay me $17 million. He's like, nah, man. He's like, New York's paying you $12 million. I'm paying you $5 million. He's like, that's what New York thinks of you. They're paying you $12 million not to play for you. No, so he reached.
100%. Like
he
that,
reached the young.
So that's why because you see that even. I'll relate to like small things like us playing backyard football, backyard baseball, backyard like export basketball, whatever it may be.
Right.
Like, there's always someone that like could read like that connected with me, and I talked about remember the Titans being very real. Mm-hmm. So those were real relationships where it wasn't like you saw the ego part of it, but you also saw the human side of it, where it's just two men, like at the time we were aspiring to be, we were young men at the time, like how do you be a man in a situation where your ego is this big, but your ability is this big? Like, and then how do you if you're the person that has to break that news to someone, how do you do that? And I don't know. I just thought he did the scene you're talking about. He did a phenomenal. Brad Pitt did a phenomenal job of it with the actor that was playing David Justice, and just in general, like it seemed like he did a great job. Chris Pratt was in that.
Yeah, Chris Pratt's first actually breakthrough role, by the way.
It's a catcher.
My favorite scene is when he buys Jonah Hill. When he first goes, he's going to meet, I don't know if it's Paul DiPodesco or the general manager of Cleveland. And he goes to the meeting and he's trying to make some trades. And then like the guy's turning him down because he's looking at Jonah Hill. And Jonah Hill's just a fucking 26-year-old kid, right? And
yeah.
Like, he notices that he's listening to this kid when there's 9 scouts.
Oh, you're talking about, like, what does he do? He gets on base.
So he gets out.
He gets on base.
He gets out of the meeting after there's nothing done. He finds Jonah Hill's little cubicle and he's like, what the fuck is happening there? He's like, I don't know. He's like, well, why is he listening to you? And he's like, I don't think he is. He's like, well, he just did. He's like, so who are you? He's like, well, he's like, this is your first job in baseball? He's like, this is my first job ever. He's like, so who are you? He's like, well, I just graduated from Yale. And he's like, I'm in economics. So he's like, baseball, Yale, economics. And he puts the 3 together. He's like, baseball is more than just these old scouts that have in the scene where they're talking about this guy's got a good face or he's had a hot girlfriend or like that's how baseball used to be thought of, like confidence, like he looks the part. No, dude, baseball is a lot more numbers and analytics driven. And these old scouts, man, they didn't have that shit down.
Well, the reason why is because every single player is their own personal brand now.
Right.
It's not the team brand anymore. Like, ask Kyler Murray, is he a Kyler?
I think the other thing,
is he a Cardinals or is he a Kyler Murray brand? Like, he's not a Cardinals brand. He's Kyler Murray brand. The Cardinals are just part of his brand. Like, in Kyler's Murray,
he's your guy.
Well, I'm saying, but that's the way all the players are now. Every single player. LeBron James doesn't think of himself as a Cab. Maybe a Cab. Right. He'll say he's a Cab. He's not a Laker. Yeah. He's LeBron James. He happened to play for these teams, right?
Final thoughts on Moneyball or thoughts on what we were talking about?
Other thing to factor in, a huge cost part of the movie. How to get down on a budget.
Right.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
when you're competing against these
I think the
$180 million payrolls, you got 30.
Yeah, I forget who the big baseball athlete was that just tweeted that said, seriously, MLB, what's going on with some of this? Because you got Yankees with over $200 million on payroll, and you've got Athletics and a few other bottom feeders with maybe less than $35 million on payroll, expecting to compete.
Speaking of which,
the Pirates last year,
the Indians changed their name. The Commanders,
Guardians,
right?
Worse.
So the Indians and the Redskins, right?
Oh.
So last year though, the Pirates. I don't know. This is not 100% accurate, but I believe there was like 24 or 25 individual players making more last year than the Pirates' entire payroll, which is about $23 million.
There's going to be 15 quarterbacks that make more than the entire
team. Made less than 20. It's almost one player per team made more money than the entire. Like,
and somehow the Marlins will make the World Series.
Right, and the Marlins. The crazy thing is, the Marlins actually won a World Series.
That's what I'm saying. That's
and the A's were real close a couple years, man, with competing. So that's the beauty of Moneyball. And just besides that, the acting. We love Brad Pitt, not just because he's a producer, but Jonah Hill, Chris Pratt.
Generally, like almost every movie.
Yeah. So, any other final thoughts here for our?
I do have one extra. Actually, Ryan, I think this is yours, right? The
anal sex.
Yeah. That's not a sport that I'm into, but I think you wrote this down. Well,
yeah, you're into that.
Well, let's just.
Are you into giving or receiving?
What type of ink are you using? It's orange, right?
Yeah. Hey, you have it on his paper. He wrote it.
I'm pulling it
All right,
back.
boys. RRR. It was fun.